चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोतं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। यस्यान्तानादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णानुभवति पुरुषो नानुपंसं न च स्त्रीनाकारं नाविकारं न हि जननमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं नो तत्त्वं तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं त्वं नमामि सद्गुरुं त्वं नमामि। I make my namaskaras to Sanatana Dharma, Shankaracharya and Patanjali Yoga Sutra and all my gurus. So I welcome you all. Introduction to Vedanta, around 16-17 classes we have made. So all these classes were to introduce certain terminologies or certain vocabulary and certain glossary of Adhyatma. In order to learn Atma Jnana, some basic knowledge of the words or important words used in Adhyatma and its real meaning, depth meaning has to be understood. For that introduction to Vedanta we have done, and in that several topics has been taken and it has been discussed. So these are all in the backdrop, it should be there. Then only the further journey towards Adhyatma, Atma Jnana, it will be easy. Only when you read such initial text or initially required things, then only you can understand Adhyatma. Otherwise, I can buy any book and then I can start reading, I may understand. No, it is not possible. Because unless you understand the basic words of the Adhyatma, basic vocabulary in its depth, in its real form. So a Sanskrit word can be given many different forms, but in the Jnana Marga, what it is being given, that is the true picture. Otherwise, all others, karma, if the same word can be given as a karma. So at that point of time, at some point of time, so a new question may come. Whereas in Jnana Marga, defined words will be almost full in itself. So that's why Jnana Marga vocabulary has to be understood. In that meaning, it has to be understood. So up to this, we have understood the introduction to Vedanta. Now we are going to the sadhana practices. Sadhana means here we are not teaching any physical sadhana much. It is not at this age, it is not whatever you have maintained, maybe it's okay. And also even youngsters also, I suggest if they are doing whatever the physical exercises, gym or whatever is there, that's okay. So that's why I don't want to suggest any new physical exercises. And also Patanjali Yoga Sutra also is not giving you any physical exercises. So it is full of mental exercises only. So also Patanjali Yoga Sutra has only given to some understanding in the pretext. Patanjali, when he wrote in the BC 200 to 500, there is a difference of age is there. His period difference in different texts are there. Anyway, we will say conveniently for BC 500 is at that period Patanjali has wrote this. This is the at present available thought process, but it is much older. We need to understand with all whatever today's people want, all basic justification and all those things that is going on. So around 500 BC when he written, so Patanjali has understood certain sadhanas in the Vedanta already people are doing. So I don't need to repeat those sadhanas again. So he said, I will be writing the higher, how to go to further sadhanas. So that is what he has written. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra is one text. So we have to understand in its totality. See, it should not be understood broken parts or whatever it is there. It should be one chapter, two chapter like that if you understand. Like Bhagavad Gita, whatever I say, first you have to understand holistically and then broke down into the at least all the chapters. The chapter whole meaning you have to understand. And then after that, if you are a Pandita or if you want to teach somebody, then word by word is required and other things. But once you understand where the chapter is taking you, so according to the Jnana Yoga, Jnana Marga, where it is taking you. So if you understand that, then you have to contemplate on that thought process, not vocabulary or breaking of the grammar and all those things is required. If somebody you want to teach Bhagavad Gita scholar in the students or Sanskrit, or further if you want to debate in the scholars, among scholars, then word by word, sentence by sentence, shloka by shloka, everything may be required. So if we study shloka by shloka, maybe another 5-6 years may be required to deeply understand that. So there also you need to learn Sanskrit. So many things will happen. First is you have to understand what each chapter is telling and also totally where the Bhagavad Gita is taking us. So with these two, then we have to start contemplating on each chapter topic or each the topic where it is taking. So then we will be getting into the Jnana Marga and also can get liberated. It is not by word, scene by scene, Arjuna, Krishna and all who has said Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya, all these things is immaterial. So and the names are immaterial, everything becomes immaterial. Only the Jnana we have to take it. So that is what we have to understand in Adhyatma. For example, we have to go from gross to subtle. For example, if you see grass on a truckload of grass is there, dry grass is there. So I can see only the truckload of grass. So that is very obvious understanding. There is further a farmer is there. He sees, okay, this will come for my cow for another 1 year, 2 year. all these things. He is thinking that, and he is already connecting the cow. And this grass, if it is there, so some artistic people, he will say, this hut I can do, that I can do, all these things he may say. But other people may be artistically using this straw art and all those things. But that's not the purpose it has been given. You have using it. But that is their grass. When it is given to cow, then cow eats tons and tons and gives milk in liters and liters. So a further person, he will be seeing a businessman or whatever is there. Okay, this truck is there, grass is there, cow is there, and how much milk and how much money and break even, all these things he may think. Same thing is understood by different people by their own thought processes. So from gross to already he has come to settle in the sense what I am talking. So already he has come to money from this one. So further, if you see, somebody says from this I can make curd, from this I can make butter, from this I can make ghee. So when you are connecting it to ghee, a gross of a ton of or a truckload of this one, at that time only you are able to connect to ghee, and you are almost in the Vedanta in the same fashion you have to connect to the Parabrahman. So Parabrahman is nothing but you yourself, Atman. So that has to be understood. That's why so much of Vedanta is being taught. From the gross to subtle we have to take. And even the ghee, ultimately it is to be put for yajna or lamp. And it gives further oxygen and dissolves into the nature. So it becomes the air itself. And the total universe is again the pranavayu it becomes. And everybody again it is coming. So that is how the grass has attained the moksha. The grass of one truckload of this one and attained the moksha, it has gone back to the nature. Otherwise, it can go and get fermented and it become kachada, and it can become kachada also, and then it can also go to the earth. But it has not gone, only it is a limited place only it has gone. It cannot go all over this one. Whereas when it becomes air form, it can go all over the universe like that. So even in the air, we need not have this oxygen or whatever we are having. This is the air. But there are subtler airs. Only helium nature is there. Only this one is there. All these possibilities are there. So that is surrounded by nitrogen is there. So that is all surrounded in the environment and also in the universe. So we may not be able to find out what is the other gas is there. So whether such gas is available, only we are thinking oxygen is available, whether we can make a living, all these things are there. If you go to higher science, maybe they may be looking into that. What is the advantage of that gas, this gas and all. Ultimately, a truckload of grass has taken its moksha in the form of ghee has been given into the lamp in front of the god, or in the yaga, when you do that, when they use that, so it is getting converted along with other products also, so it attains higher level. So that is what our liberation is also has to happen. Our physical body only, if we stick to that and only we are beautifying that, we are only giving the needs of our physical body only, then we are we are falling in the kachana. Like that is what it says. So we have to uplift ourselves. Otherwise, animals also, they are living for their own body. So what is the difference? The difference, what it is given for us is the willpower. So we can think and we can become whatever we want to become. But Vedanta says further one step going ahead, you need not become, you are already a being. So I have sent you as a being. So, but still you are trying to become. This is ajnana. So you are already a complete human being is there in yourself and complete Paramatma is there in you. But your ajnana, the knowledge what you are having about yourself is not the true knowledge. So the true knowledge, when you try to know in the same gross body and the same mind, same set of thought, with that you will come to know, I need not become something. I am already a being, the real being, not this artificial being. The real being, Atma Swarupa, we call it as. So when we understand Atma Swarupa, there is no further journey required, and you are already transcending the time and space coordinate. So you are not in this time of seconds, minutes, and all these things. It is a timelessness and also spacelessness. You are not committed to only one place of thought process. In this, you are not connected to. You are already liberated from all this time and space. So physically you may be staying in a place, but psychologically you have grown to the universe level. That is already you are there, but we are not able to understand because of all our other knowledge. So Vedanta says parana, paravidya and aparavidya. Paravidya and aparavidya. Aparavidya is all the worldly knowledge. Paravidya is about Atmajnana. So when Paravidya is there, you will understand that you yourself are already a complete human being. So that you will be able to understand, and that is why a lot of Adhyatma books, Adhyatma literature, everything has come in the ancient Sanatana Dharma, and they have done research of the 120 years of your living, and they have done that. So as I said earlier, there is Prasthanatraya, the original text, like Shruti, Smruti and Nyaya Prasthana. So that is Veda, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra are the original texts. All others are secondary texts. In secondary texts, a lot of Ramayana, Mahabharata and all other Smrutis, so many things are there. This is also a secondary text. So there are Darshana Shastras are there. In this Darshana Shastra, this Patanjali Yoga Darshana Shastra is also one of the Darshana Shastra, and this is a secondary text. This is more or less from the gross, in between subtle layer, Patanjali has carved out. Straight away you want to think of moksha, it is difficult to understand unless you make your discipline, body, mind discipline, you cannot go into that. So Patanjali is assisting how to make my body, mind into fit for moksha. So that is Ashtanga Yoga. So only he deals in that Ashtanga Yoga. So that we have to understand in this discourses. And Patanjali is also has a grammarian, Sanskrit grammarian. He has Mahabhashya for Panini grammar. He has written. Panini is the original grammar, Sanskrit grammar writer. His text has been translated by Patanjali, and also he has done lot of commentary and all those things. So Patanjali, not only Yoga Sutra he has written that also. Patanjali is a saint, and it is believed that he is Adishesha Avatara. So Adishesha Avatara means Vishnu is floating on the sea, milk sea. So Kshira Samudra. So in that a bed is there. So that is done by Adishesha, and Adishesha is always with Vishnu. So that means Vishnu is, if you say moksha, so Adishesha is already along with Vishnu. Almost you can reach there. So that is Adishesha Avatara is also there, and there are a lot of story about how he has born and all those things, whether that becomes a story part. So that is what it is there. Apart from that, in the same period, some Buddhism and Jainism people also, they have taken the same Yoga Sutra, modified to their own methodology, and they have done that also. So ultimately, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, before coming to yoga, Patanjali Yoga writing, there were a lot of bits and pieces of yoga practices were there. And there are a lot of big books was also available, like Yoga Vasishta and so many other books were available. But in that, it is not addressed to this level of Ashtanga Yoga and how to make a simpler to common man. But today, Patanjali Yoga Sutra itself is becoming very difficult to understand. Like that, it is happening. So anyway, we'll go into this. So we have a misconception is there. So most of the time, the moment we say yoga, yoga means we understand the asanas, how to bend my leg, how to make like all such things only. We will be all having, our understanding is only yoga means maybe doing only the asanas more and some pranayama and some meditation. After that it stops. But according to Patanjali, he has not even recommended any asana at all. He has not even talking yogasana at all. So the total of his Patanjali Yoga Sutra, only 2 times he has used the asana word itself. He has not discussed an asana. There are some later texts has been this all asanas has come. So I will be dealing when asana comes, all those texts also I will deal. So asana is not the main topic of the Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali has not written about yoga asana at all. So all the yogasana today, what we are doing, it is all developed around 9th century and further. In the 500 BC, there were only Surya Namaskara and some of the Sukshma Vyayamas are there. And so further Bharata Natya, whatever Bharata Natya Shastra is a one Upaveda he has written. In that Shiva is doing Rudra Tandava Nritya. So in his Anga Bhangi is there. Anga Bhangi means all his postures of the Rudra Tandava Natya has become one yoga posture. So after that only the people have seen the Rudra Tandava, different descriptions of the body, how he is making dance, what all the postures he is doing. For all those postures, how to come and tranquilize to that level and fix that position, everything has been done. And the further texts have been come, that is become yoga asanas, yoga shastras and all these things. Asana Shastra. So before in the Patanjali, there is no yoga asana. They are only telling about Sukha Sthiram Asana. So only that only they are telling. They are not how to sit in a calm and physically comfortable, mentally comfortable position for a long time. In order to contemplate in the mind, you cannot walk and do the contemplation until you become a jnani. So you have to somewhere sit. You cannot, your leg should not strain, your body should not pain, and you cannot droop and you cannot go to sleep. All these things has to be achieved by achieving only a good sitting asana. So you have to, people are calling it as a asana siddhi. Only that only he is telling about. And he is telling that only. Now after that he is not telling how to do that also. So whereas in meditation he is explaining some more and pranayama some more he will be explaining. So Sukha Sthiram Asana. So only the one word is there in the asana. And also whenever he says Ashtanga Yoga, he says once again he uses asana. Only these two areas, the whole of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you study, the asana word is coming. Why I am telling so much is all our misconception first itself we should be clearing before going into the text. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra means we are teaching yogasana? No. We are not teaching any physical yogasana. So Patanjali also is not teaching that. So that is the first misconception. We have to remove that. And why yoga? Then what Patanjali Yoga Sutra has written? He said, in order to achieve moksha, you have to achieve the mental stability. And mental stability has to be achieved physically also. You need to do certain things. So for that, food and pranayama and sitting and meditation, all are preliminary preparations before going into the moksha sadhana. So all those things only he is discussing. And that too he says, it is only I will give you the fitness to achieve the jnana yoga. You are getting into the jnana yoga, and then in jnana yoga you have to do shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Then only you can achieve moksha. So that means you need not study the Sanatana Dharma text or something like that, but you have to understand the central meaning of each text. For that, at least some guru is required. And then you have to contemplate on that and go and understand the real meaning of that. So that is called Satata Swadhyaya, is called Manana, and then you are going into the Nididhyasana to become the knowledge. First you study the knowledge through Guru, and you are contemplating on the knowledge is the Manana, and you are becoming the knowledge yourself. So that is called Nididhyasana. Almost when you go to Nididhyasana, you are almost there. 99% you are a moksha or a jnani stage, you are reaching it. So anybody can reach. Even at the age of 20 also can reach. So all these possibilities are available. But in that you have to only focus on that and then start doing it. That is possibility is there. But today we are living in a modern world. So we have to manage that, all those things coming. So even Vedanta says, somewhere you have to put a full stop for this modern world chasing. So once you have sufficiency is not coming in your mind, then you cannot fit to be making the Atma Jnana, Moksha, all these things, words are far away for you. So whatever you have made your this worldly affair, somewhere you have to put full stop. This is sufficient for me. Further, I will not be in the rat race. So then that is important. So you have to maintain your status quo, but you need not be in the rat race. But you have to go and concentrate on your body-mind complex. With that, you get a higher knowledge. With that higher knowledge, even your worldly chasing is becoming also easy. You may be more successful person than the other person without understanding this yoga practices and all. So this also gives in the modern world also you can increase your achievements. But somewhere you have to put a full stop. You can do it for the world, not for yourself. All your achievement for the worldly affair you have to do. So like that you have to convert yourself, your thought process. Even at the retirement age, how much money I am getting, only thinking means I am not able to contribute to the society. So that is what the shift has to happen. That is what it says. So according to Vedanta, yoga yujyate anena iti yogaha, it says. It is combining. Yoga is yujyate means combining you and the Atman. Otherwise, we are living in the gross body and this worldly affair. So we have forgotten our Atma Swarupa. So it is going to connect you from this gross level to the subtle level of your personality. So that is yoga. It is called yoga. Anena iti yujyate anena iti yogaha. That is what yoga it is described as. So yoga, before Patanjali writing also, it was there in the Rigveda also. Lot of things were told in the Rigveda, and further it has been coming in the Upanishad, and it has come in the Bhagavad Gita. In all the Krishna is telling lot of about yoga. In that only Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, everything Krishna has already done. Whereas today says 3500 years back, only BC, only Bhagavad Gita was there. Patanjali is a later person. So, but Patanjali has brought it into a common man's perspective. Otherwise, in order to make moksha, what has to be done? I will give you 10 books you read. No. He has not done like that. He has concentrated everything into sutras. Sutras are called as aphorisms. It will contain only 3-4 words only. So much concentrated he has done. It is just like he has made a 1 ton of grass into a bottle, half a bottle of ghee. So it is condensed to that level. But in order to understand ghee, you have to go back to again understand grass, cow, everything you have to understand. So that is how he has written 196 aphorisms. That is, aphorisms are called as sutra. Yoga Sutrani, it is called as. For example, Yogascha Chitta Vritti Nirodha is one aphorism. So one sutra. Like this 196 sutras he has written. Only that much. If you put every 196 sutras, maybe in a A5, not even in A4. So in 10 font, you can put in a A5 sheet. It will fit in. So only that much is Yoga Darshana Shastra. So, but today more than 20% of the text available in the world is about yoga only. Yoga, meditation and all the texts are so much, and so every culture is adopting that. So that means this 196 statements has got so much of information is there. That has to be understood is the yoga philosophy. But we are not going sutra by sutra, but we are limiting ourselves into Ashtanga Yoga. So, whereas if we go to 196 sutras, it may take itself for another 2 years, 3 years to understand in depth. So, I may understand vocabulary wise, but I have to understand in the spirit wise means it is difficult to this one. So, this 196 Yoga Sutras are again he himself has classified into 4 chapters. The chapter 1, he has named it as a Samadhi Pada. So the Pada is a first leg. There are 4 legs if you say that. There is the first leg is Samadhi Pada. Because the 4-legged is a very stable structure. So that is why he has given is a 4 Pada. So he has called these 4 Padas as Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada, second one, Vibhuthi Pada and Kaivalya Pada. So he has done that. In that, in second and third Pada, Sadhana Pada and Vibhuthi Pada, in that only the Ashtanga Yoga is coming. So we are limiting only to Ashtanga Yoga. Unless you understand Ashtanga Yoga meditation up to Ashtanga Yoga is 8-limbed yoga. 8 limbs are means yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. These are all the 8 stages are there. Unless we understand this, we cannot go to samadhi, we cannot go to kaivalya. So that is a higher level of understanding is there. So first we have to understand Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is coming in the 2 chapters, second chapter and third chapter. So straight away he started with the Samadhi, because at that time everybody want to get into Samadhi and all. In order to attract the people, he has started with the Samadhi. But subsequently he has written the structure of the physical to mental to subtler. So the gross to subtler, how to you have to go is, that is has written, that is from yama to samadhi. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So he has done from the gross level to the subtler level. So what I am talking, a ton of a truck of grass to ghee, and the becoming vapor is moksha. So up to ghee level he has given. The moksha has to happen is, it has to be heated, it has to be burned. it is then only it will become vaporized. So for that you need Agni. Agni here we call it as Jnana Agni. So when you come to at least the physical fitness to this level, up to Samadhi level, then it will take you, it is almost you are there. So like that. So in the Samadhi Pada is to be treated as the third Pada, but here he has written in his text as first Pada. So according to our Raja Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, we will be seeing in the second chapter, only limited to yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. These 8 limbs only we are seeing. So once Atma Jnana, everything is completed, and even further 1 or 2 Upanishads and all those things is completed, and there are some other basic texts are there, Aparoksha Anubhuti, Drusha Viveka. All this text, when it is completed, we can go back to this the Samadhi Pada and Kaivalya Pada. So again, in that detailedly we can go into that also, and possibilities are there. So immediately we cannot go to Samadhi and Kaivalya. Even if I understand, even if I tell also, it will not be able to understand, because basically we have to go to that plane and then thought thinking. So before, first we have to elevate ourselves to some level of thought process. So after that, this all 2 things are acceptable. So now we will go into Patanjali Yoga Sutra. 196 Yoga Sutras are classified into 4 padas. So chapter 1 contains 51 sutras are there. Out of 196, 51 sutra. Some texts are telling 195, some are telling 196. 195 is the more authenticated, because I have also studied many other texts also. So 195, 196 is number we need not much struggle and waste our time there. So chapter 1 is 51 sutras are there. Chapter 2 chapter 1 is dealing with Samadhi Pada. Chapter 2 is having 55 sutras. It is having a Sadhana Pada. In that only, the first 5 things also is coming, like yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. These 5 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga is dealt in the second chapter, 55 sutra, from 29th sutra only. Up to that, again, mental preparation only he is doing that. So subsequently, the chapter 3rd is taking us to dharana, dhyana, samadhi. And further also transcending the body and all these things are there, which is not, unless we achieve this state, we cannot go to that state. So that is having 56 sutras are there, chapter 3. It is called Vibhuthi Pada. Vibhuti means it is a speciality. What is the speciality? So even in Bhagavad Gita, we have the Vibhuthi Pada is there. Vibhuthi Yoga. That means what is the speciality of Lord? So here's what is the speciality of yoga he is discussing at that level. So first we have to understand Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is more famous. First we have to understand that is the sadhana we have to do. So again I can come back and teach you on the Samadhi and Kaivalya afterwards. So first we are looking into Sadhana Pada. The 4th one is called Kaivalya Pada. It is almost attaining to the liberation stage. That is having 34 sutras. So 51 sutras, 55 sutras, 56 sutras and 34 sutras in Samadhi, Sadhana, Vibhuti and Kaivalya Pada. So like that it is there. So if we say why we cannot read Samadhi Pada, and it is only for academic interest you can read, but we may not be able to understand and do any sadhana unless we do the basic Ashtanga Yoga sadhana. So he prepares first basically how to go to gross body to our own mental body, and then we have to go to the subtler body, and then we have to become the God itself. So these are all the processes there, but we are all through, we are living only in the gross body. So my tongue wants that, I want to eat So more than 60% of my effort is going towards tongue only. Like what is the breakfast, what is the coffee, what is the evening snacks, what is that, where it is good available, which hotel, which thing, which is the dish. All this only we are working, and we are spending our time there only. So from there at least we have to gross, that is the gross level only. And apart from that, another body also we will be taking care of what is the dress, what is the cosmetic, what is the beauty, how it is beautiful, hair has to be done, hairstyling, nail polish, nail, all these things, physical body only we are looking at, and we are wasting our time also on that. So again, on the physical level only we are living. On the eating level or on the this one. So another one is, even in the physical level we are living is only talking. So without thinking we talk, and then we repent, or we may be crying for ourselves only. This and your talking only invites lot of trouble. And again you are solving the trouble. Again you may feel happy and unhappy. All these things are in the physical level only. So the tongue is talking physically. Because of that only we are getting into, still we are living in the physical level only. So then when are we living into the mental level? So mentally we are only either worrying or stressed only. Other than that, mentally we are not able to transcend the body, and our mental plane we are not going to go there, and we are not able to understand what is mentally things are there, and why my mind is wandering, why my mind is making lot of thoughts, bringing lot of thoughts, how to reduce the thoughts. That is what he said, yogascha chitta vritti nirodha. So when you learn yoga properly, your mental activity, it will come down. Mental wandering will come down. Chitta, yogascha chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta means mind. Mind is always wandering, activity. So we are drowned in the activity. We are submerged in the activity. We are lost in the activity. Actually, to go to moksha, your activity, what you are doing is ahankara based, and that means I want to do this, I want to do this. And ultimately, if you put 10 questions why you want to do, you don't have answer. You don't have a goal for any of your activity. So 2 questions, 3 questions you can answer. 4th question, 5th question, it is not able to answer. Why you are doing any particular activity? After doing that, where are you going? So after doing an activity, it creates another 10 activity. So another 10 activity chasing another 100 activity it will create. So we are lost in the activity. We are lost in the words. We are lost in our thoughts. That's why whenever activity increases, more and more activity, and all the activity is material related only. There is no other activity we are thought. Even earning the name is also materialistic, because the name earning is that period of people, maybe another 20-30 years. For example, today's celebrity is only a celebrity for this generation. My generation celebrity is not a celebrity for my grandson. Maybe 20 years a celebrity. So for that, if I am working hard and becoming a known person, where you are becoming known? To your cities, to your road, to your country, to your state, or whatever your country, or to the whole world. How many people have come and gone? Who remembers all those names? So we are getting into the activity. Putin is also making war, and he will also become one day in the Hitler also was there, Mussolini was there. Lot of good kings were there, bad kings were there, and unnecessary killed so many people. Like all these things can happen. Ultimately, who remembers why we need all those things? Not required. So in order to make war, he has not sent. All of us has been sent to liberate ourselves to the Atma Swarupa, Atma Jnana. So that is the purpose of our living. So for that only he is talking about that. Anyway, for a brief period of time, we will sit into today introduction. We will get into all these four padas, what exactly it says. So, first chapter, yoga is defined in Samadhi Pada. Some of the obstacles how to remove in the yoga, in the way of our moksha, that is only described. Samadhi means I'm in a meditative posture by sitting in one place for a long time and making still the mind, and no thoughts are I am not put into activities. So we think activity means I am getting up and doing some activity. That is the first physical level activity. Second is my mind only making lot of activity. It is asking question, it is solving problem, it is doing rationalization, it is making comparison. All these things are the activity of the mind. And it is feeling proud, it is feeling jealous, everything is an activity. All this activity is unnecessary. It is not giving you anything, but simply you are engrossed in that. How to dissociate from that activity is discussed in the Samadhi Pada. It is discussed in the Samadhi means dhyana only it is discussed. Samadhi means even going beyond the thought. So at that no thought process. So at that point of time you get into the Samadhi, because what is Samadhi is, for example, we are having we know only these three states of living, or any physical or any substance available here in the world. We know only the three states are available. One is liquid state and gaseous state and a solid state. For example, gold is a solid state, water is in liquid state, and oxygen is in the gaseous state. But if you work hard, you can make even water into the vapor or water into the solid, which we are able to see the ice as well as in the vapor form. Similarly, any metal can be done like also. It can be vaporized, it can be made into liquid, it can be made into solid. So that means any object, worldly object, including me, I am also living in only these three stages. Our stages are not solid, liquid and gaseous. Our stages are Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. So we only know these three stages. That means Jagrat means morning I am awake and woken up, and then morning to evening whatever I am doing activity in the waking stage I am doing. So after that, the moment you go into the bed, slowly your body is forgotten, your mind takes up the activity, dreams comes. The dream stage is there. That is, after crossing that, it goes into the deep stage, deep sleep stage. That is called Sushupti. So Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, the waking stage, dreaming stage and the deep sleep stage. So we are living in only these three stages. But Samadhi says that you can live in this, for example, in the deep sleep stage, what is we are doing, we don't know. Even our mind is not knowing that. So, but we are getting cooled. We are all our stress, everything will come down after sleeping. So our body cools down, body regenerates, everything is happening by itself. But we don't know how it is happening. But if you go to Samadhi stage, all the deep stage, whatever is happening, in dream stage, what all is happening, even that is analyzed in the mind. And you are able to understand while you are awake only. Awake means, Samadhi means he has not gone to the sleeping stage, but he is in the waking stage only. But he is able to understand all the activities of the mind in all the planes of our living. So that stage is called as a transcendental stage. That is called Turiya Avastha. So we go to Samadhi level at that point of time. So all of us, we are going to Turiya level most of the time. For example, if you go to your beloved God, when puja is happening, for a second, you close your eyes and you have forgotten where you are also. Your name, your body, where you are there. Everything will be forgotten for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Even in Tirupati, if you go, you will be able to understand. Or your Ishtadaiva also, you may go, you may understand. Or you are seeing a beautiful sunset. You are lost, but physically awake. You are physically awake, but your mind you have transcended. There is no mind in that place. So you are transcended and you are getting into a stage of blissfulness. So when a sunset you are seeing, you are getting into the blissfulness because of the transcending the mind. If you are living in the mind plane only, you are going to be in the same activity. You are lost in the activity. One activity creates 10 activity, 10 activity creates 100 activity. So you are lost in the activity. So you have to transcend the mind. So then when you transcend the mind, so now we are available in that bliss stage for 10 seconds. Suppose you get a very delicious food when you are hungry. For a 5 minutes or 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you forgot yourself. And there is a santrupti, contentment is coming after eating the food, such a beautiful. And then the contentment stage, your mind is absent. So again, you come back to the mind. And again, you come back to the physical body. Immediately, we come back to the physical body. Even in the mind, we are not able to analyze. So, all the yoga is teaching about how to go from here, from the physical body to the mental body, and also understand all our Sukshma Sharira and all. So, ultimately, how to transcend the mind so that 24/7 you can be in the blissful stage. So that is called Paramananda. That is almost you are merged with the God, merged with the universe. That is your original form. That is called Atma Swarupa. To that Swarupa you have to go. All other things what we are doing is whatever my mind says. You build a house, you will be happy. You marry, you will be happy. You have children, you will be happy. You find a degree, you will be happy. You get more dollars, you will be happy. You make name, you will be happy. These are all my mind is directing me. So all these are my own likes and dislikes only is making my living in the physical body. Though I am living in the three states of waking, dream state and deep sleep state, but I am only aware of myself only in the waking stage. Other two states I don't understand also. I am not able to understand that also. So that means maybe if I say according to Vedanta, around 60% of the time I am waking, 40% of the time in the sleeping and all these things are there. So that means in a 24 hours, 16 hours is there, 1/3 or not even 16 hours also. So you can say 60-40 like that. If you say some 12 hours we are active. Rest of the 12 hours we are lethargic. Though we are awake, we are almost in the sleep stage only. So 50% you are almost, you don't know who you are. You are living in that state. So, okay, I don't know who I am in the deep sleep stage or the dream stage, no problem. That is not a problem first. Even in the 12 hours also on the awakened stage, I don't know who I am. That is another problem. So understanding who I am in the waking stage, understanding who I am in the dream stage and the deep sleep stage, and then transcending from that to the Samadhi, Turiyavaste, the fourth stage. It is a transcendent stage. So then it becomes Samadhi, and that is almost we are going to Kaivalya, that is moksha. So that is what we have to understand. So in the Samadhi Pada first chapter, having 51 sutras, the Samadhi Pada is making how briefly we can go into that. For that classical, this one is so to block the patterns or the modifications of the mind in my consciousness, in my mind. It is called as yoga. Yoga is restraining the activity of the mind, not controlling. So if you understand that, and the moment you go with the thought and start questioning the thoughts will vanish. All my problems will vanish only when I catch hold of the problem and start questioning till I get a sufficient answer. And finally, I come to understand that my question itself is wrong. For a wrong question, I am finding a right answer. Throughout my life, I am doing this only. All my questions were wrong. I am chasing my wrong questions for a right answer. Even the so-called right answer itself is wrong because the question itself is wrong. So there is a continuous dissatisfaction because of this. So here in this, he is talking about how to catch hold of that mind and restraining the activities. The thought coming, how to chitta vritti nirodha. So the activities of mind, how to remove that, how to transcend that. So he says there are 5 levels of activity it is doing our mind. I am just briefly going in each. Actually, I am not going in detail. I will go in the Ashtanga Yoga very detailed. Yama, niyama, each one on class maybe I am doing or more classes also for each one of that. So chitta vritti means what is the mind that does according to Patanjali. So namely it is pramana, it is proving. So viparyaya, it is disproving. Also is vikalpa is imagining. Nidra is going to sleep mode or I don't want to do any activity. Smruti, it may go back to memory. These are the 5 things only it is doing it. So he has classified these are only is doing it. Pramana can be said as proving in the sense it is you are doing a correct knowledge, finding out is called proving. So viparyaya means you are disproving means you are proving it as incorrect knowledge. So you are doing as a correct knowledge or a incorrect knowledge. Your most of the time is spent here. So you are going to the next is imagination stage. And also sleep stage is that means mind becomes blank all of a sudden. You don't know what to think. That is the stage also mind can go. If nothing is possible, you will go back to your memory. You start worrying or you are telling that I should have not done that. Either you are doing imagination of the future or the past of the memory. So that is what the 5th stage he said is. Or in the sleep state. Mind goes to sleep. Like our computers will go to sleep, mind also goes to sleep. Even in the awakened stage itself. The mind should be available to me. It is a tool that should be available to me as I want to do my job or my activity and lead my life. So I am doing absent-mindedly, I am doing the job. So that is a big problem. That is what creating a lot of chaos. The job means even talking, eating, behaving, everything becomes a job. So Patanjali says in this Samadhi Pada, he talks about how the chitta vritti happens. That is pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, smruti. So that means either you are fighting for the correct knowledge or you are disproving somebody, saying that it is not incorrect knowledge, you are disproving. Most of the time you are not right, you are not right. So otherwise sometimes you will say I am okay, I am okay, I am okay. So sometimes you say you are not okay, you are not okay. So like also can happen. So another time is imagination only will be happening. In the future, I will be doing like that, this. And sleep is blank stage. And another stage is memory, means all past habits, whatever happened, I go back in the memory lane and go there. I remember, I cry, I happy, I become everything. I recreating the scene. And recreating the scene gives you the recreated emotions. And you are living the past memory in the past emotions. And your present life you have spoiled. This past emotions living creates you worry and stress. So these are all the things has been addressed. And he said this is can be avoided. This all the 5 activities of the mind can be This is the mainly 5 activities only the mind does. So it goes into the higher Adhyatma further. When we go to that level, we'll see that. So what he says is, it can be transcended. This all the activity can be stopped by 2 methods. One is called Abhyasa, another one is called Vairagya. Abhyasa is continuous practice. When you do, you are able to transcend the mind. Another one is called Vairagya. Vairagya means you have to detach from the thought. So detaching from the thought is Vairagya. So how to detach from? So our Vairagya is, I am detaching from the, so I have gone to Kashi, I have left the drumstick, I have left the Kashi halwa, all these things we are talking. That is not Vairagya. That is not detachment. You are controlling it. Here it is not that. The activity, why it is happening, and you are observing your mind, you are becoming a Sakshi Bhava. So that is Vairagya. So up to that level we have to go. Detachment from the material experience, not alone material expense, and also from the inner aspect of your mind also you have to get detached. So that is possible only by Abhyasa is continuous practice, and Vairagya is a continuous detaching yourself. But by controlling, blocking, restraining of Chitta Vritti, it gives more Chitta Vritti. So when you start controlling, if you want to control a child, you close in a door or a room, the child creates havoc. So you are controlling one activity of child, but it creates 100 another difficult activities for you. You cannot lock up. So Chitta you cannot control, Chitta you cannot block, Chitta you cannot restrain, your mind you cannot do all those things. Without doing all these things, how I have to do is the Abhyasa. That is what he is talking. Union with the Lord is called as Yoga. Union with the Lord is, you yourself is God. That is the understanding will come with the Atma Jnana or the knowledge. And then after the Jnana, how to go to that level only is called union. So in that he gives what are the other types of samadhis are there. There is Sabija Samadhi and Nirbija Samadhi. These two classification he has done that. That means with the seed and without seed. The meaning is Sabija and Nirbija. You are having an idea, holding an idea and thinking, going into the Samadhi and exploring that idea, not the materialistic idea. Your Atma Swarupa itself you are maybe. So you are also doing a Nirbija, means without any thought also you can do that. So both how to go, that is the 2 types of Samadhi he says. In that again he creates 6 types of Samadhi. Samprajnata Samadhi, Asamprajnata Samadhi, Savikrita Samadhi, Savitarka Samadhi and Nirvitarka Samadhi, Savikara Samadhi, Nirvikara Samadhi. So like that he creates. So in this 51 shlokas, aphorisms, so he is telling you have to go to Nirbija Samadhi. Is ultimately, when you go to that Nirbija Samadhi, you are already transcending the mind. You are 100% living in the eternal bliss, continuous bliss, it will be there. Otherwise, our happiness or our joy, fun is whenever I set a target, the target is achieved, I will be happy, not achieved, I am unhappy. All these things are there. It is not so. You can go, that is a temporary happiness only, we feel happiness. Here, when you transcend that, you are living in the same world, you are living with the same material, same people, same thing, but you are already going to dissociate from that all the thoughts, and you are making just using the materials, living in this world. So second chapter talks about Sadhana Pada. So for today, for our understanding, this much is sufficient, because we cannot go into that unless we understand the Ashtanga Yoga, and we have to understand that. So in the second chapter, it is a Sadhana Pada. In Sadhana Pada, it is talking about 55 sutras are there, Sadhana Pada. In this 55 sutras, he talks about the focuses of the sadhana. how to make sadhana itself is. So, whereas Samadhi Pada should have been the third Pada, according to our own study pattern, but sometimes people will start like the important climax only and then come to the normal things. That is also possible, like a movie, no? First only they show the climax, after that unfolding of all the events will be shown. So like that. Here also he has written in the same thing. First only Samadhi Pada he has written, after that he is unfolding the sadhanas. Sadhanas are how to overcome the obstacles. That is the sadhana. Sadhana means not I am making 120 degree, my angle is there or not there. This is the correct asana, this is the correct angle, correct pose. All these things are not the sadhana. You are only punishing your body and mind, and unnecessarily you are giving angles and all those things for that. Body should be very flexible. That is the only requirement is there. So obstacles, if you are doing yoga asana, you do it, continue. It is not telling. But if you stop there, it is not going to do. So here in this, he is talking about out of 8 Raja Yoga, Bahiranga Yoga, he says, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. These are all the 5 grosser level sadhanas. Outside world related, I have to use the sadhanas. So, if you do these sadhanas, you can remove klesha. Klesha means obstacles. Some of the obstacles you can remove. So, what are the obstacles? The obstacles are, I am going to make myself as Ishvara. I am understanding Ishvara. Whatever is coming in the way is called obstacles. Not that I want to do some activity, something is coming in the activity, that is an obstacle you think. That is not the meaning here he is telling. The mind objective is you have to eternally becoming bliss. So you have to become God yourself. Atma Swarupa you have to become. For that what is troubling is called obstacles. So in that what obstacles? He says there are 5 types of obstacles are there. One is avidya. Avidya means ignorance. He says lot of things what I know is only a materialistic friend. Lot of my mind activities itself I don't know how it behaves. And other 2 states, no, deep sleep and the dream stage also I don't know. Then how I can go to the 4th stage of transcending the mind? So I have to look into that. So how to avoid obstacle of avidya? How to overcome the ignorance? Ignorance of the materialistic knowledge, it is not talking. It is talking about your own mind and your own swarupa, your own who you are itself you are not understood. So that is avidya. Second one, it is called as asmita. Asmita means that is a egoism, the feeling of I. Why it is happening, I am not able to understand. That is giving you an obstacle. The third one is raga. Raga is an attachment. So attachment means I like this. So like is a passion. I may say this is my passion, this is I like it. All attachments, my mind only is getting attached. A new toy, a boy will get attached for some time. After that, he get detached. Even somebody takes that toy also, he is not bothered. Even it is broken, even he has forgotten also. He has written off his in mind. That means all my ragas, my mind only creates, my mind only deletes. So this attachment, how to? My mind only created attachment. My mind only has to remove. So that is the obstacle. How to overcome that obstacle? He is talking about that. Dvesha is the dislike. Dislike creates an anger, and anger creates further its family, Arishad Vargas. So aversion. So this anger or aversion is also an obstacle. Suppose I am doing 2 things in activity. One is going fast near to my likes and running away from my likes and dislikes. Both are activity, both stage I am struggling. For example, I like this. I want to go to that person. I like that person. I am going fast. My all activity mind 24/7 is going there only. So if I dislike also, how to run away from that person? Psychologically, physically, every time I want to avoid him. Continuously, I am working also on the dislikes also. So that creates the dvesha and the arishad vargas. So that is the stage he says. This is also an obstacle. So abhinivesha. What means abhinivesha means falsely we are clinging to so many things in the world without understanding its reality. Abhinivesha is the false clinging in the life. So these are all the 5 obstacles he is telling. How to remove the obstacles by the yogic practice. The yogic practice is Raja Yoga. So he is starting from the grosser body, that is yama and niyama, and then further he goes to Ashtanga Yoga continuously, and also he says step by step. In yama and niyama, he handles the external aspects of our life. So in the grosser level, body, physical body, mind level complex, my body mind is a complex. It is a multi-story complex. So my body mind is doing transaction in this complex with the outside world. A shopping complex, a complex, if no transaction, customer and the supplier, if it is not there, what is the use of the complex? So now the complex is my body mind. It is doing activity in the external world. The customer is also, you are there, and you are also is the selling person. So accordingly you get the products. You sell something and you get something, and you are whether liking or disliking everything you are doing. So this activity has to be understood properly. For that, how to behave with the world, outside world, that is what yama and niyama is totally said. It is building up your character and moral personality. It is concentrated on that. When I go to yama niyama in detail, I am going to talk on that. Asana pranayama deals in the physical personality. Your body should be flexible to go to sadhana. So that is what I will be dealing on that further. Pranayama, pratyahara and dharana deals with the psychological aspect of the personality. So you understand, first is the outside world personality. Second, already you are coming to physical world. So from the grosser outside world to your physical body mind level you are coming, second level. The third level, your mind level you are coming. That is called pratyahara and dharana. Psychological personality, how to improve that, you are working on that. The fourth is dhyana and samadhi, dhyana and samadhi. So that is dealing with the spiritual personality. So this is how the Raja Yoga has been built. This is Ashtanga Yoga has been built. So we are dwelling only on this Ashtanga Yoga. After that, achieving this, we have to either go to Samadhi Pada and then Kaivalya Pada. Immediately you go to Samadhi Pada, you are not able to understand. So you have to understand this. Once you achieve and also learn some other knowledge of the Vedanta, then we can jump into Samadhi Pada and Kaivalya Pada. Again, I will come back and teach at that point of later date. So chapter 3 talks about Vibhuthi Pada. So Vibhuthi Pada in this is the Antaranga Yoga. That is, first 5 is called as the Bahiranga Yoga. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana. The pratyahara. Here dharana, dhyana, samadhi is the 3 limbs of awareness. It is called Antaranga Yoga. It is nothing to do with the outside world. You have to do everything is the internal world. So here he creates a samyama. Samyama means a balanced activity, balancing your thought process, balancing the ideology, balancing everything has to be said in that. So how to balance? Samyama is the fundamental habit we have to start learning here. Samyama means I am not becoming too joy, too sorry, or I don't have too much liking or disliking. So you are coming almost into samatvam. It is called equanimity. So how to come to samatvam is the samyama has to come to that dharana, dhyana, samadhi, you have to go. So here he will be talking about so many methodologies. So subsequently, he goes into the ideas and phenomena of the siddhis also. Further, he goes into the special pavadas. So like that, you can go to all these things. We are not teaching. We are not going into that. For that, you have to go to Kundalini Jagruti and all those things. After that, it is what to do. So normally we stop up to the dhyana and samadhi. Further, it goes in this Vibhuthi Pada. He further goes after dhyana samadhi. He further talks about how to go to previous birth knowing and reading others' mind, how to read, how to go to solar system by yourself. You can physically, in the Sukshma Sharira, you can go and see how the Grahana and everything has been predicted, how all the nakshatras has been gone and seen, not by telescope. You yourself is transported there in the Sukshma Sharira. You have understood that and came back. For the Sukshma Sharira, there is no temperature. There is no temperature resistant coat is required. That is required. Nothing is required. So that is the samadhi. If you go to higher level of that, it is possible. And you can study the stars. You can live in the stars, all the possibilities. And also floating, walking on the water and walking in the fire. These are all the siddhis are possible. So these siddhis we are not dealing because we don't need for going to moksha. For all those things are required to impress somebody or in order to create an empire. I want to make a ashrama. I want to make lot of money. I may show you some of the siddhi, pavada and all, and lot of followers may come. I want to do that. I may heal you something. All these possibilities are there. Hypnotism, everything comes in that. So the mind deeply analyzed in this chapter. So, but we are sticking on to dharana, dhyana, samadhi. After that, siddhis, we are not sticking into our studies. So next one is Kaivalya Pada. So Kaivalya Pada is almost a liberation, how to go into the Kaivalya. So in this, the mind has to go to Kaivalya. So I have achieved already, conquered all my present activities, all present karma I have in my control. I have brought after making Ashtanga Yoga. But I don't know, I have already written memories are there in my earlier Purva Janma is there. That Purva Janma Vasana and Samskaras are there. Samskara means the continuous habit what you are doing, it becomes samskara. It is stored as vasanas. In the previous karma, all vasanas are stored. So some of the activity today you control in your karma today, but still though you are achieved some level of karma and you can able to control, but your Purva Janma Vasana makes you to do some more bad things, some more good things and all. Again, you are put into activity beyond your mind also. So in this Kaivalya Pada, it is going to Jnana Yoga also. So here Vasanas and Samskaras has been refining. That is a subtle mental impressions are there that has to be cured. All the karmic effects can be cured. So with that, all the things can be, once you erase all your samskara, Purva Janma samskara, so you are going to close all your bank account of Sanchita karma, Agami karma and Prarabdha karma. All the three karmas when it is erased, present karma is also not there, Purva Janma karma is also not there, nothing is there, then you are getting into moksha directly. So that is possible even in this life itself. So we have to go to that level of mind, go to Purva Janma Vasana, erase all those things, we become Jnana. So in that, four factors he is talking about. One is Hetu. Hetu means cause. What is the cause of all my Vasanas? What is the Kleshas? All those things. So in that Klesha means all the obstacles I have seen. The obstacles avoiding similar way, how to avoid the imprints in my mind. Today, I am doing, I may get liberation at 20 years, another 80 years if I want to live. How to avoid that? For that, so you have to find out the cause why the impressions are happening. So you have to see that, and how to avoid that also, he says that has to be done. Another one is phala. For example, when impressions are happening, each impression will create a one effect. For example, one blue color, if you put, the blue effect will come. Green color, if you put, green effect will come. All the effects, the causes will create an effect. So how to remove the causes? In this Kaivalya Pada, it is going into the deep Samadhi stage, taking with an eraser, erasing your past karmas, past Purva Janma Samskara. Purva Janma Samskara is called as vasanas, that has been done. So for that, in order to remove this cause and effect, you have to depend on an ashraya. It is a support of an experience is required. That experience is bliss. So you have to get support of that. That is what he is telling. Alambana, he is telling the fourth one. These four methodologies are there. These four methodologies, through that I can go to conquer the higher mind. So that alambana is object of experience. Initially, I may create my Ishtadaiva. After that, I transcend from that. Support of experience also is removed. Ashraya also is removed. Then I get into like a stage of eternal bliss. I myself become that. So all these things are possible. Drugdrushya Viveka has another knowledge is there. In this 34 sutras are there. Kaivalya means a lot of qualities has to be, all our effect, cause and effect has to be removed. So then we go to pure consciousness stage. Today we are talking about consciousness. So we get is our corrupted consciousness is there. We get into pure consciousness. The pure consciousness stage is soul, Atma. So the pure consciousness stage, there is no having blue color, green color, nothing is there. It is a colorless. So there is no cause, there is no effect, there is no imagination, nothing is there. So to that stage when you are going, it is called Kaivalya. So that is there. And finally, if we conclude, so we are getting into Raja Yoga. Detailedly, I will be telling all the Ashtanga Yoga. Once you practice all these things, sadhanas, in between I am going to bring other sadhanas also, which is helpful to go to Samadhi level and this sadhana meditation level. And if you continuous practice, you can go to Samadhi level. But Kaivalya, Samadhi also can be a third level. Kaivalya is the fourth level. So we will go into that. So we will get into eightfold Ashtanga Yoga only. We will go. With this, I am going to conclude today's introduction to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So subsequently, I am going into yama niyama. Each one on class may be required, or 2 class, 3 class may be required also. I will be going in detail. So accordingly, what justice has to be done for each level, I will be doing. So in between Antaranga Yoga and Bahiranga Yoga, I may go to again in the Adhyatma, deep Adhyatma. Somewhere I will be bringing from Upanishads and other things, some of the other sadhanas, which there also I will be teaching all those sadhanas, at least theoretically. First you have to understand and then practice. Thank you. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.